Hello, and welcome to today's video. In what could be a bombshell headline from Russia, there are reports of an alleged assassination attempt on Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to the Kremlin, the culprit is Ukraine, and the Russians have already put their bombers on alert. Explosions are being heard in Ukraine's care zone, and it's all very confusing and uncertain right now. So first, let's hear the Russian version of events. The assassination bid is said to have happened last night. 2 drones were used to strike Putin's residence inside the Kremlin compound. Russia says the attack was repelled. Remember, the Kremlin is one of the most secure buildings in the world, and its electronic defense apparently disabled the drones. But is there any evidence for this? Well, so far, there isn't anything concrete. All we have is a video being circulated on Russian social media that shows a flying device heading towards the Kremlin. But as it gets near, it bursts into flames. Could this be a Ukrainian drone? Ukraine says absolutely not. They claim to have no knowledge about the attack. Regarding drones over the Kremlin, everything is pretty transparent and clear, but I will talk about it anyway. First of all, Ukraine undoubtedly has nothing to do with it because there is no military value in such actions. President Zelensky is not in Kiev today. He's in Finland for a summit with Nordic countries. Ukraine's ally, the US, is also saying the same. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he would take anything coming out of Russia with a huge grain of salt. So, these videos are not verified as of today. They're just claims from Moscow. And that's the tricky part. It's hard to verify things in a war. It's one version versus another. Let me quote Russia's official statement. 2 unmanned aerial vehicles were aimed at the Kremlin. As a result of timely actions taken by the military and special services, with the use of radar warfare systems, the devices were put out of action. The Russian side reserves the right to take retaliatory measures where and when it sees fit. Where was Putin when the attack happened? Not at the Kremlin. He was working from his residence outside Moscow. Russia says fragments of the drone fell near the Kremlin, and there were no injuries or casualties. Moscow is also linking the attack to Victory Day, celebrated on the 9th of May, marking the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany. So lots of claims from Russia, but the question is, what we make of them? At first glance, it does seem far-fetched. For starters, just look at the video. Does that look like a lethal drone trying to kill a president? It's gently floating towards the Kremlin, almost waiting to be blown up. Nonetheless, let's look at the 2 possibilities here. Either Ukraine did it, or it did not. Possibility number 1. Ukraine did try to kill President Putin. They keep saying that ordinary Russians are against the invasion, so if you take Putin out, perhaps the war ends, like cutting off the snake's head. The second possibility is this. Russia is bluffing. An attack on President Putin is an excuse to escalate. In fact, Moscow has already warned of it. Their statement says, Russia reserves the right to take retaliatory action. And remember, alleged assassination plots are not new for President Putin. Reports say he has survived 5 attempts. None of them have been officially confirmed by governments. Many critics also dismiss it as propaganda, as an attempt to build the mystery and aura around Putin. Was this a similar case? Now we discuss the alleged assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin and the credibility of Russia's claims regarding the incident. There are conflicting reports regarding the plot to kill the Russian president, with Russia blaming Ukraine for the attempt and Ukraine denying any involvement. However, many people are questioning the credibility of Russia's claims and whether they could be using the incident as a propaganda tool. In this video, we will be exploring this topic in detail and debating the validity of Russia's statements. Firstly, let's examine the evidence. The only video evidence of the incident is a clip circulating on Russian social media, which shows a flying device heading towards the Kremlin before exploding into flames. However, this video has not been independently verified, and some experts have questioned whether the device in the video was actually a lethal drone, as Russia claims. Furthermore, the timing of the alleged assassination attempt is also being questioned. It took place on the eve of Victory Day, which marks the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany. And some experts believe that Russia could be using the incident as a way to build a mystique and aura around Putin, as well as to create a distraction from the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. On the other hand, some experts argue that the alleged plot to kill Putin should not be dismissed so easily. Putin has survived several assassination attempts in the past, and Russia's security services are notoriously secretive and effective. Furthermore, it is possible that Ukraine could have been involved in the attack, given the ongoing conflict between the two countries. So, what is the truth? It is difficult to say, as the facts are not clear-cut. However, it is clear that the incident has the potential to escalate the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and it is important that all parties show restraint and avoid making any irresponsible statements that can raise tensions further. The recent sabotage attempts in Russia and their potential connection to the alleged assassination plot against Russian President Vladimir Putin. In the last few days, Russia has reported multiple sabotage cases near the border with Ukraine. 2 trains were derailed in alleged sabotage attempts, one on Monday and another on Tuesday. Russia has blamed Ukraine for both incidents, but Kyiv has neither confirmed nor denied any of these claims. These events have led to suspicions of a potential link between the recent sabotage attempts and the alleged assassination plot against President Putin. Is it a mere coincidence, or is there a more profound connection? One theory suggests that these incidents could be part of a larger plan to destabilize Russia and its leadership. Supporters of this theory point to the fact that the alleged assassination plot against Putin came just days after the sabotage attempts, which can be a deliberate attempt to distract and confuse Russia's security forces. Another theory suggests that the sabotage attempts and the alleged assassination plot are linked in a more direct way. According to this theory, the same group or individual might be responsible for both incidents, with the goal of creating chaos and disrupting the stability of the region. To investigate these theories further, we reached out to experts in the field of security and political analysis. According to them, while it is still too early to draw any definitive conclusions, there are some compelling reasons to suspect a connection between the recent sabotage attempts and the alleged assassination plot. Firstly, the fact that both incidents occurred in close proximity to each other, and the similarity in the methods used in both cases, suggests that they may be part of a coordinated effort. Secondly, the timing of the incidents is also significant, as they occurred during a critical phase of the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. However, it is important to note that these are just theories at this stage, and there is still no concrete evidence to support them. The recent sabotage attempts in Russia have raised suspicions of a potential connection to the alleged assassination plot against President Putin. While it is still too early to draw any definitive conclusions, experts believe that there are some compelling reasons to suspect a link between the 2 incidents. We will continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as they become available. Thank you for watching.